Hello and welcome to part 2 of me reading the Arlong Parc arc. Now, I finally got my hands on volume 10 as I already had volume 11. So I believe the Arlong Parc arcs finishes on chapter 95, so I have marked it and I've made sure that is where the next arc starts, and I believe the next arc after the Arlong Parc arc is only volumes 11 and 12, and then I think that is East Blue finished. It's taken me a year, but I've got there. I'm taking my time with One Piece. Like, I'm enjoying my time reading it. I don't want to rush myself because if I rush myself I won't have time to digest the story. So if you've already seen part 1, you know that I am really enjoying this arc so far and I'm excited to continue. Let's start on the next volume and I'll see you in a few chapters or so. It's all a bit intense at the moment because Luffy has just gone charging straight in ahead to fight Arlong, and the fight's just started to take place. So everybody's got their own opponent. So Luffy is fighting Arlong, the captain. Usopp is fighting like one of the random crew members. Zoro is fighting the octopus who he tricked. And then Sanji is fighting like quite a few on his own. Luffy's really strong. It looks like the battle's going well for them, and they're stopping the humans from rebelling. So they're just trying to show how strong humans are, but then the crew figure out, because Luffy's using his powers, that he has the power of the devil fruit, and obviously the fishmen know that, to his knowledge, that people who devil fruit users can't swim, so Luffy is sinking to the bottom of the ocean at the minute. And then Usopp is very interesting because he reminds me a bit of Zenitsu from Demon Slayer, as he's a bit of a coward but he is quite strong in the sense, so very similar characters there. But yeah, not really a lot going on, just like a little fight, a bit of a fight scene at the moment, and then let's hope Luffy gets out from sinking down under the ground. So I've just read to 85 and chapter 86, and okay, a lot going on again. So Zoro is fighting Hachi. Hachi is quite a good swordsman because he's an octopus. He uses what's called the 6-sword style, and he like taunting Zoro because Zoro can only use the 3-sword style. So their battle is a lot of between back and forth, but like a lot of back and forth of slashes, because you think from like Hachi's earlier like portrayal he was kind of incompetent, but he's actually not. He's quite a good fighter, but Zoro does one-up him and manages to defeat him, although he is wounded because he's still not recovered from his previous fight, so he's making his wounds even worse. But this just shows how strong Zoro is if he's managing to fight like Hachi and he's incredibly wounded. But yeah, they're trying to rescue Luffy still. So Nami's sister and one of the villagers has gone to try and help him, but he's drowning. But what they do, they manage to stretch his neck because they can't break the stone because obviously of the water pressure. So they've taken his head so he can breathe. So Luffy's all right for now. But because Zoro needs to go and save Luffy, there's a bit of a time constraint. So as he defeats Hachi, he thinks, I need to go dive down, but Sanji doesn't let him, so Sanji dives down, but then Arlong comes to fight him. At first it seems like Sanji's gonna lose because like they're in water, but then he uses his brain to think, oh yeah, if they're fishermen they use gills, so he breathes in oxygen, so he manages to get on land. And then I actually like his fighting terms, so he's using a lot of French vocabulary, so I'm wondering if they were like the sort of French cooking terms in regards to that. So yeah, I really like that. And yeah, so he's just slammed him with like one of his finishing moves. So we're going to read the next 2 chapters, which are 87 and 88, and then I've got 2 more, and then I'm almost finished volume 10, and then we can move on to volume 11. So another intense 2 chapters there. Sanji is still fighting him, but then we focus on Usopp, who is fighting one of the guys who's got like this lip power. And Usopp, he kind of is going through this existential crisis that he keeps running away, he's pretending he's a coward, and he just almost has an epiphany, and he just thinks, I'm not running anymore, I want to be a pirate, I want to be part of their crew. So he just, wow, I'm proud. There's some good character development there. I'm glad. And I do like Usopp, so I'm glad that he got out like that coward stage. So I think there might be still a bit of a reversion at some point, but he's doing his best. So he goes to join the fight, and then Nami decides she's had enough of crying, and she heads back to the fight as well. And Arlong is really strong. He, like Sanji and Zoro were if like on the last legs, like they are struggling at this point. Like I can just see Zoro can last, he says to Sanji, I can maybe last 30 seconds because Luffy is breathing, Luffy is alive, but he's still stuck underwater, so they need to rescue him. But Zoro is trying to like keep Arlong distracted, but Hachi has got up now, so it isn't looking good. It just isn't looking good, but I've got 2 chapters left, so let's get this volume finished. Luffy is back in action, and the fight has started against Arlong because everybody else is at their limit. Zoro is completely collapsed. So Hachi does dive into the sea to try and stop Sanji and Nami's sister from, I can't remember her name because it's just disappeared from me, trying to stop them from releasing Lucy, but like he's injured as well, so they talk about how, oh, he's also injured, but Zoro is at his limit, Sanji is at his limit, but Luffy has come to save the day. And Arlong does taunt him by saying, what can you do? And Luffy says that he can beat him and that he's got friends to help him. And like you can see like they're coming together as a crew. Like these guys, I mean some of them only just met in Sanji's case, but I feel like we're gonna build the blocks of friendship and we're gonna see like a really tight-knit crew. And just at the end, as Arlong grows back his teeth, just taunting that he's more superior, Luffy uses one of his crew, which hits him, and then he just thinks of something fun. So I'm wondering if he's gonna end up using the crew as like, you know, to block Arlong's attacks. So we'll see how that plays out. We've got 1 more volume and then I've finished the arc, and then we'll go through my thoughts and things. So I believe if I'm on, that was on chapter 90, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters to go. So I think I'll read the first 2 chapters in here, and then obviously, and then read the next 3 together, and then that will be the arc finished. So let's go. Come here. Come here. Hello. Hello. Oh, so someone's just come to say hello. Someone's just come to say hello. Hey, Aston. Hi. Hi, baby. Hello. You do take up a lot of room. We're getting to the finishing chapters of the arc now. So Luffy is fighting Arlong, and Arlong's teeth keep growing back because Luffy keeps smashing them because he's a shark, and sharks' teeth do grow back. That is true, so that was interesting to see. And Luffy's smart idea was to put them in his mouth and to use them to like bite him, but that doesn't really do anything, to be honest. So it does look like Luffy's losing, but because Arlong goes into the ocean and uses like an attack to jump out of the water to attack him. But then Luffy does something which is actually quite smart of him, which is like using his fingers as like a rubber net to catch him when he's jumping, so the attack doesn't work. So then Arlong has no choice but to come back on land, and they end up falling into the map room, and Luffy sees all the maps that Nami has done, and he sees that there's blood on a pen. So she's being worked to death almost to make these maps, and that enrages him, as well as Arlong saying using him, because Luffy regards Nami as his crewmate and not someone to use as like a tool or a slave. So yeah, he's getting very angry in that last chapter. So I really want Arlong to be defeated because he's getting on my nerves how he just won't go down. He's the last fisherman standing, so you know, just down. So we're gonna finish the next 3 chapters, and I will see you in a bit for my final thoughts. Just all I've got to say is, okay, wow, that panel. And with that, I have finished the Arlong Parc arc, and I have to say that has been by far my favourite arc of the series. So the arc ends as Luffy is fighting in Nami's room, and he uses Arlong to bring the room down because he realises that Nami has hated all her time. She's slaved over all these maps, and he destroyed. And so in bringing the building down, it kills Arlong, and the villagers all celebrate. But then the naval captain shows up, and he's a bit of a weak thing, so they beat him and obviously save the money. But Luffy gets a wanted poster. So I don't know how that's going to play out, or whether something bad's going to happen in the next arc, because that's got a consequence there. But I mean, he'd want to be a pirate, so... But we'll see what happens in regards to that, because that's gonna... You wouldn't put so much emphasis on that. So all the village celebrate into the night, and then Nami decides to join the crew, and then they're leaving, and everything's ended on a good note so far. But yeah, I just really enjoyed that arc, just because of like, we can see like the bonding that these guys are gonna have. Like, some of them are closer than others obviously, but you just see how they work as a team, and how they just work well as a unit, and how they'll help people that are struggling. And like, in relative terms, when you think about it, the crew are the good guys. I mean, they may not be perfect, and Luffy may be an idiot, but yeah, they will go out of the way to protect their crew members. And it's almost like a sort of found family, which is my favourite trope in media. Like, I love found families. So I think, I'm hoping, out of all the East Blue arcs so far I've read, yeah, that's my favourite. And I'm hoping more arcs will like that to come. Like, Chiko and Nami do kind of look very similar, even though they're not related by blood, but like, at least the design's there. I suppose that's the only thing that I could say that I was a bit with. But yeah, I felt like that was well paced, and it just ended on a good note. So yeah, I just really enjoyed the arc. So that's the only thing I can think of where I'm not too sure, but I really enjoyed that, and I can't really see any more. I didn't really have any issues with it or anything, so yeah. So we have one more arc to go, and that will be coming your way soon, hopefully in the next few weeks. And then we are done with East Blue, and I can move on to the next saga. It's only taken me a year, but we're there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. I'm finally gonna finish East Blue. Bye.